So yeah, this new one from Joey G, quite a easy pick for me this month. One of the masterminds behind certainly my favorite electronic band, but one of my favorite bands as well, Hot Chip. Um, really enjoyed his last solo project as well, Electric Lines, that came out a few years ago. And it was one of those where, I just looked at the guest list on this one. Abibio Sound Machine, Alexis Taylor, also a Hot Chip, my guy Hayden Ford. So it was a bit of a no-brainer pick for me this month. And I think it's an album that, kind of what I was expecting on paper. It basically lives up to that billing. I think it's a great electronic project, tailor-made for the summer. And you just get like a really great mix of songs on here. Opens on one of the singles, Moments Die, which could easily be a Hot Chip song. Just a really catchy little synth pop track. Great vocals from Brooklyn singer Barry.
Barry, that's a great combo there.
Guest stars on that. And yeah, that kind of sets a high bar straight away from me. And then, next up you've got Progress, which is the track with the BBO Sound Machine, and it kind of keeps the level right there. The vocals from Williams, we spoke about the BBO Sound Machine records a couple of months back. And particularly, her vocal performances, but again, just sublime. Those cries that she kind of does on the chorus, and then the horns come in. I think it's one of those that if it wasn't on this album, you could happily slot it into that Abibio Sound Machine record from earlier on in the year. Just absolutely fantastic. If you're a fan of, Joe Goddard, and then I think you'll be very happy with that collaboration. Destiny is maybe where it slightly comes down for me after that. I think it's a very strong 1-2 to start. Destiny is one that just borders a bit too much on Eurovision vibes for me. So, it's similar to that. I can't remember which Caroline Polachek song it was that I mentioned a similar thing, but it's just where it's got the, that Eurovision DNA about it. Which it's a fine track, but it's not one that I find myself drawn to as much. But thankfully, what follows is a song that's quickly becoming one of my songs of the summer, which is New World Flow, which it's one of those that just every time it comes on, I'm not skipping it. It's just fantastic. Such a jubilant, joyous chorus. It builds on the verses, and then it just unleashes this like flash flood of colour on the chorus. Milan-based singer-songwriter Furious is the person who guest vocals on this, and he's got this really soulful voice, just stupendous vocal performance from him. So yeah, that's without doubt my highlight, that song. Absolutely love it. And then it just really, you've got this real kind of like so soulful dance tune, and then Joe Goddard just flips the switch again, and you've got Love's Out of Fashion, which has UK rapper, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, it's either Orange or Orange.
Orange.
Or Orange, yeah.
We're fluent in French around here.
Yeah, it's spelled Orange. So you make up your minds how we should be pronouncing that one. But yeah, just another change of pace again. And I think that's what I say about this record. It almost feels like a really well curated playlist. Every song kind of has a similar vibe, but also has its own unique flavor. Like it goes between, these dance tunes, these synth pop tracks, this, hip hop track that comes along. And it's just a really fun project that, I find myself, because of the nature of it, I just find myself coming back to it. Plenty of other highlights in the back half. Obviously love the track with Hayden. They had a great standalone collaboration a few years back called Unknown Song, which this one's as good as that one for me. I would love to see them do like a full EP or an album together down the road. That would be bit of a dream come true to see that. Definitely based off the 2 collaborations they've done so far. I think that'll be great. Other ones I enjoyed, Ghosts with Tom McFarland of Jungle. I think that's great as well. It's more of a subdued track compared to some of the others on here, but again, really soulful vocals on that one. And then the one right at the end, really loved the track with jazz musician Alabaster Deplume or Deplume. I'm not sure how you. I'm going to say it's Deplume and not Deplume. But yeah, really love that track at the end of the record. I think it's a nice way to round it off. Again, some good hauls kind of coming through on that one. And I think, yeah, everything else that I've not mentioned on here for me is between good and great. I think even the tracks where it is just Joe on his own, like Follow You, On My Mind, I think between all the awesome collaborations, there's some really nice like solo moments in there as well, which are just like these chilled out kind of ambient electronic tracks. Some really cool like vocoder and vocal work on those as well. So yeah, big fan of this one. I think for me, it's a perfect July record. Not too demanding or taxing. Really eclectic sonically. Like I say, it mixes up the style track to track. And it's, like I say, it's got that like well-crafted summer playlist feel to it. So I think over the last month, certainly in July, it's the one that I found myself coming back to the most. So big thumbs up from me. What did you make of this one, Kylie?
Yeah, likewise, big thumbs up from me. I don't know I know I didn't intend to have, so many quote unquote mixtapes and feature heavy records this month, but this is the one that for me, Joe Goddard really ties it together. And as you say, it works as like a really great playlist that has, been played in every situation for me this last month. It's just really diverse while, not being overly challenging. And in that way, I mean that as a compliment. Same background. Hot Chip is one of those bands that, just reminds me of my early 20s and going to the club and dancing to, their can't miss hits. And I think I've never had a Hot Chip record I don't like, but I do feel that their last few have been so strong, just really hitting their stride. And then the work that they did, like with the Vibio Sound Machine, who, returns here. And when we reviewed their new record, I was saying, I kind of missed that Hot Chip influence that was on the previous record. And like, here we are back at it with Progress. And I think it could fit on that new Vibio Sound Machine record. But at the same time, I kind of like that more than anything that was on that record. And then, just getting into a few of them too, that opener with Barry, a group that I had kind of forgotten about. I think their debut came out pre-pandemic, and one of those that I listened to a lot, and then, years happened and I haven't come back. So I enjoyed that enough to add their sophomore record that I missed to my listen list. Really love the Findia feature. And I like all of it. I like all the ambient tracks. For me, I like the last bit where there's, Alexis Taylor and Al Doyle on Mountains. And I really like Ghosts with the Jungle feature. And then the one I don't know how to pronounce, if it's Fale Nioke, getting that Afro groove on Miles Away. It's diverse but cohesive, and it's especially against the list that we had this month. It's an easy favorite for me, but I think if you throw it on another month, it's probably going to be finishing towards the top for that too. So yeah, just so glad that, whether it's Hot Chip as a whole or Joe working on his own or, Alexis Taylor's solo work, they just for me, they don't seem to miss, and they just get stronger with age. It's awesome.
100% agree with that. Yeah, it's like you say, it's one of those records, like real great mix of stuff, but then Joe's just there to tie it all together, so it works as a whole as well.
This is how you do a producer's album, right?
Yeah,
like this is the exact opposite of Future Utopia,
big time. So that's what we thought. Let's go over to Andrew, and I think he had pretty much the same. I don't think he maybe enjoyed it as much as us. He said generally decent club and dance tunes without necessarily being an absorbing listen. Summon, which is the track with Hayden Thorpe, that was the highlight for Andrew, but he did note that it had nice variety to the record as well, which we're always going to appreciate on the pod. So
someday we'll get Andrew to really love an electronic record.
Yeah, we just need to find the right one. Yeah,
we're finding it.
Yeah.